Welcome back. Perth Wildcats up by 2 here at the Cage. Last week of the regular season, the INET NBL championship season. And Andrew, I'm really looking forward to the playoffs.
Oh, yes, Steve. It's going to be tantalising stuff. And I'm sure it's tantalising out there for Josh Wilshere, having to guard a potential boomer. Damian Martin, don't rule him out for selection. It's going to be a tough ask to make one of those guard spots, but not completely out of the mix by any stretch.
Luke Neville's pull-up jump shot. Can't find the net.
I'll tell you one other thing about Josh Wilshere, if we see him there, is that he's one of the juniors. He went to the United States last season and played at Wyoming Central, I think it is, in the junior college in the United States. And
not a whole lot happens there.
No, and I think he quickly learnt that, and he decided that wasn't for him. But it's a common path now for these guys. He was going the junior college route, only played there for a season, and bang! Brad Robbins not happy with that. Tim Mills has just gone whack and hit him with a very quick tee.
Damn, a quick one.
22, Robbins.
Oh, he might have just tried to get some value for money on that technical, and I think he did. Because he could have earned another one straight away, and he might have been headed not only to the bench, but to the locker room. See the frustration in Brad Robbins. Myron Allen comes up and...
Why is he shooting the free throw?
It was a technical.
Oh, okay.
A technical foul, anyone
right.
can shoot. Looks like a little bit of artwork going on Brad Robbins too.
Well, he normally doesn't complain much.
No, he was upset.
He must have dropped the bomb.
I think we heard it.
And when I say he usually doesn't say much, all 3 guards don't say much. They play that tenacious defense. Martin and again Ron Dorsey trying to get to the rim.
Good work by Luke Neville though. Just put the big paw up there and gets a block. Moving screen. One thing about the Perth Wildcats, they can become very terminal on their offense from time to time. Everyone seems like they've got the license to let it fly. And that was another one where only 1 or 2 passes. If someone's open, they're willing to let it go. I suppose if you're shooting 40% from the three-point line the last 6 games, you have that confidence.
Dorsey going left. His pull-up is a little long burst and nice feed from Myron Allen. Yeah, the Perth Wildcats will give you an opportunity to stay in the games.
We've all got our areas of responsibility. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, Millsy catching a bit of a hiding from the players.
Substitution on the floor. Greg High has come into the game for Damian Martin.
There's blood on the floor and the floor wipers out there. Sorry.
And on the bench, sorry, but Damian Martin is going to get some work done on him. He's the reason there's blood on the floor. He's copped one in the nose by the looks.
That's the second one he's copped in the nose. And that's what Wagstaff was talking.
Steve, well, we've got a little bit of a break here. Just want to get your... we've got Monday night is the awards night. The NBL awards night for the...
I'll be there.
You and I will be there, as will all the leading players and coaches in the NBL. It's not just the award nights for the NBL, it's the WNBL and the international awards. And just want to get your view, Steve, on one of the categories, and in particular, the big one, MVP. It's in my opinion, one of the most wide-open MVP races we've seen.
No kidding.
Ever. And Kevin Lish, I think, would be a candidate. Who takes your fancy?
That's a very, very good question.
I thought so.
I don't want to just go willy-nilly. Can you give me a minute on that one?
No, give it some thought.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of standouts. You want me to explore them?
No.
Right.
Do you want me to look at the list, or do you want me just to go off the top of my head?
Just off the top of the ones.
Boy, Cedric Jackson would have to be in the running. It would be tough because New Zealand really spread it around. And, you know, whoever's hot. And whoever has a big night, they continue to pump the basketball through them. Thomas Abercrombie, same thing. He would be up against the same thing. And in saying that, so would Kevin Lish.
Yes.
And that makes it even more wide open.
Does it ever. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes home that award. Whoever gets it is going to have deserved it. Cam Tregar halfway through the season may have been a chance for this scoring. Wilshire's had a rebound and a turnover and a steal in the one-play phase. He's amongst everything at the moment, Steve.
Yeah, he's going across the board like a stat machine. Bursting out to Dorsey, and he lets it fly from the three-point line. No good.
Ron Dorsey is in shoot-first mode tonight. He's already had 4 field goal attempts. Now, that's not a lot, but relative to how he's been all season, he has got that aggressive look about him. Perhaps a little agitated coming off the bench tonight as he's making up for some lost time.
And he's going at Wilshire. He must just think he cannot guard him. Watch him. He slides with him, spins.
Oh, he pushed off, too.
Pushes off on him. Wilshire's got to be thinking, man, normally if you guard a guy and he changes directions and you slide with him on one move, 2 at the most, Lish gave him about 8. And he eventually got to the line.
Well, I'm not sure the foul was on Wilshire or Matty Burston on that replay. Looked like he reached in. Still got blood issues on the floor. And rightly, they're taking the time to make sure of that. I'll throw one more at you while we're talking about the awards on Monday night.
I'm going to go with Cedric Jackson. I think that with him, that's how they've been able to not miss a beat without Kirk Penny.
Correct, and there's the foul. I think it was on Wilshire first, and Matty Burston got the second one. I don't know who it eventually went to, but
okay. Give me the stuff.
Yes, I think so. But what about? Here's an easy one for me. Coach of the Year,
Andre Lamanis.
Spot on.
Yeah.
I would have. You can't. If he doesn't win Coach of the Year, then there's some people that aren't being. They need to have a good hard look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, that's right. That's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, absolutely.
Just go where
he's the winner. Here's one that always a tough one year in, year out. Probably an overrated category as well.
Must be deep.
Correct. Who are you going to go with the best defensive player?
Oh.
Jerray Grant for the Sydney Kings, merely because of his shot blocking around the basket. I don't think he'll get there, but he's one that, again, off the top of the pile. Damian Martin's a perennial nomination for that category.
Well, you might want to go with Cedric Jackson again.
Ooh, imagine that.
God, he could be taking a lot of hardware home after Monday night.
And rightly so. He's been sensational for the New Zealand Breakers. A little 2-3 zone now by the Perth Wildcats. They've mixed it up a bit tonight.
Allen baseline, dribbles into the trap, skip pass to Dorsey. One bounce dribble off the glass is good. Well, I like it when they actually run him off the three-point line. He just looks like he is so athletic on those pull-ups.
Does he ever?
Man, it does everything but go down. It rims out. Dorsey. Back to Wilson. He's starting to look very comfortable out there.
He is, and this is the Ron Dorsey, the aggressive Ron Dorsey playing with, I think he's just carefree about it all. Look at this, Steve. Just aggressively attacking it on the offensive end. This is something we haven't seen virtually all season, the aggressive nature of Ron Dorsey on the offensive end. And he might have left his run a little too late. He's 2 of 6 tonight. He's got the 4 points, but just the body language and the way he's gone about it here tonight. Steve, he can play. We saw last season what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Just a confidence thing. Just didn't play with any confidence this year.
Finding your right role, too. Fitting into a system. Knowing where your shots are going to come from. Myron Allen just not able to reel that one in.
Okay, have a look.
Tommy Greer checks into the game for Allen. He'll take a little blow. He'll pick up Greg Heyer.
There's Seamus McPeak. He's the former owner and one of the legends of the Melbourne Tigers basketball team. He handed over the reins to Michael Slepboy and Larry Kesselman, who are the gurus behind Dodo. They're running the show, but Seamus McPeak had a great reign as owner of the Melbourne Tigers, and great to see him still involved. Terrific contributor, not only to the Melbourne Tigers, but to basketball in this country.
Lish gets his hands in, shot clock down to 6. Dorsey gets a little push off on Lish. Sprays the three. But he got away with a push off.
But again, looking for the early shot, he's thinking score every time he gets the ball.
Tyre did not hesitate on the nice dribble penetration and kick by Kevin Lish.
Greg High, hasn't he come on this season, gone through that phase with the Perth Wildcats, now getting some legitimate minutes.
Well, he got that opportunity when Damian Martin broke his foot, so he started to get those minutes. He got his opportunity, and
he's averaged 7 minutes a game, Steve, shooting at 49% from the field. And Steve, I took him to China mid-year. He came on one of my teams, and he played a lot there, and just a delightful player to coach. He's one of those guys, he's great on the glass, does anything you want, highly coachable, and one of those guys that you just want to see do well. And if he can continue to knock down that perimeter shot, there's going to be a place for him in the NBL for many years to come. Smart player, can pick up systems very easily. I like him a lot.
And so does Rob Beveridge.
As he should.
Lish, one of those imports that you just forget about. And he likes to sneak under the radar. He likes to be unassuming. Very quiet, Kevin Lish.
Yes.
Very quiet. But, boy, his game makes a lot of noise.
Does it ever. At the right time, too.
Finals MVP in his rookie season.
He's fearless, Steve. He doesn't have that fear of failure, which some guys have. And even some of the absolute megastars have that. We've even seen glimpses of it in a guy like LeBron James lately, who has struggled in the crisis. And no doubting the skills of players like that. It's just what goes on between the ears, and sometimes that fear of failure can really bring you down. He doesn't lack confidence when the game's on the line.
Willich off the mark, higher, draws the D, eventually get it to Lish. Yeah, and boy, that is a lonely feeling when everybody's got you under the microscope like LeBron James, but not everybody is a mental giant like Tiger Woods when he was dominating. We'll get into this discussion when we come back. Here at the cage, Tigers up by 1, 28-27.
Make a break for the Kathmandu Easter Escape sale and get up to 60% off a huge range, including Malazan soft shell jackets. Save $200. Plus, get 50% off merino clothing, excluding accessories. Don't miss the Kathmandu Easter Escape sale. Now on, live the dream, Kathmandu.
Why make things any more complicated? Deal with the car finance experts first.
Welcome back. Caught up with Trevor Gleason before the game, and I said, man, it doesn't get any easier for you. You got the Perth Wildcats tonight at the cage.
Yeah, I know. They're probably getting wound up for the finals, and we're a little bit wounded tonight, a couple of guys down. So hopefully the young guys will get a real good opportunity.
When you start thinking about the next season and start playing those type of players that are maybe on the bubble?
Yeah, well, probably a couple of weeks ago, since we were mathematically out, you certainly want to put the guys in the spotlight and see how they handle in the front line, and we'll see that again tonight.
Trevor Gleason, what a nightmare run. Last year's NBL Coach of the Year, been to the playoffs about a gazillion times in a row, and then he runs into this.
He's had to deal with some unusual circumstances this season with having Paddy Mills, not having Paddy Mills, having A&D backer, not having A&D backer, and not trying to make excuses, but it's been a different set of circumstances. for the Melbourne Tigers. And there's a nice casual move, a little drop step. Good footwork, not blistering pace, but good touch.
Poetry in slow motion. Sean Redditch on that spin move. And like we say, he's just got a bunch of different ways to score. Ron lets another three with all kind of pressure.
There is no hesitation in what he's doing. And, you know, there's been times when we've heard Trevor Gleeson talk about Ron Dorsey where this is what he's been begging for. Just take charge of the game, Ron. Take matters into your own hand like he's doing tonight because he's been spectacular. 10 points now for Ron Dorsey, 2 of 4 from the three-point line.
And as you're in that explanation mode, Sean Redditch goes hard to the basket. Nice flash cut. Goes to the basket, gets fouled, goes to the line. Now, this is a guy who has sacrificed a lot of his scoring for the better of the team. But he can still score. He's 3 for 4 in this game as we're 3 minutes and 31 seconds from halftime.
Rob Beveridge does a great job of keeping everyone positive and letting them know that it's not just about the stats, it's about the little things that you need to do. And he seems to have his guys willing to play hard for him, even though they may not have that same spotlight of them or may not be putting the same sort of points on the board that they normally are accustomed to. So he's done a great job of juggling time for his players and getting everyone to feel good about themselves.
Yeah, Lewis got hit that. A good look from the baseline. Higher to Lish. One bounce dribble going left. That's long. Luke Neville can't come up with it as Lucas Walker. Dorsey on the end of an alley-oop.
Could see that coming at the halfway line. Ron Dorsey gave the point upstairs just as he stepped over. And see, there's the hand going up. And Myron Allen, terrific job. Puts it right on the money. Touch pass and beautiful timing. That's what this league needs, to see the high-flying athleticism of some of the great athletes we have.
And Ron Dorsey putting in a blinder, 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting, and none more spectacular than that. Lish almost came up with the steal. Dorsey with another jam after the turnover by Perth.
My goodness, we're seeing a Ron Dorsey exhibition here tonight. 14 points, 6 of 10 from the field, and back-to-back dunks by Ron Dorsey.
And this is how it eventuated. Steps in, goes for the jam, hung on the rim on that one, got called for a technical foul.
Delay again, wasn't it, Steve?
Oh, delay again.
And just that mindset that Ron Dorsey has been in tonight, you can see that right from the start, he was going to go out blazing, and he's done that, and it's all coming good. And good timeout by the Perth Wildcats, because this has been some sort of run. 2 back-to-back dunks for the Melbourne Tigers, who are shooting it still not all that well. They're only 42% from the field, 20% from the three-point line, so it's not like they're lighting it up, but what they have been able to do is force the Wildcats into a few more turnovers that have resulted in pretty easy baskets.
There's some players out there doing the workman type things for the Melbourne Tigers. Lucas Walker came out aggressive as well, as you get a look at the 2 athletes for the Melbourne Tigers. Lucas Walker's on 7 points and 7 rebounds. 8 rebounds. And the Melbourne Tigers will stay up in that extended pressure.
They are. And they've done it without much help from their leading scorer in Cam Tregar, who has yet to score. In fact, he has no other stat. He's 0 of 2 from the field. And he's the trillionaire because there's 2 and all zeros on the stat line.
Robbins. To Redditch. Back door to Lish. contact, no call. Lish on the offensive glass and the putback.
Steve, when you see teams come out of timeouts and how they execute, and that was just beautiful work by the Perth Wildcats to find a way to get an easy basket. Little backdoor play, and they take advantage of it. Matty Burston might have got away with a travel, and he didn't the second time. But that's critical. When your team is up against it like they were and momentum going the way the Melbourne Tigers, you call a timeout and you execute like that. That's the sign of a well-drilled, good executing team.
Lish comes up short, Burston with the board. Here comes Allen. They've got numbers to Lewis. He lays it up with the long arm using the left hand off the window. Tigers up by 5.
How much better do the Melbourne Tigers look when they get out and run? Get out and run, use their athleticism. And this is one of the more athletic teams you'll see on the court with Dorsey, Benny Lewis, and Lucas Walker. There is some athleticism in those three fellas.
It's an illegal screen by Luke Neville.
Pushing foul by Luke Neville. He's befuddled. He's got no idea what's going on. What Moinani says. He can't understand it at all.
What do we got here? What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Here we have a look.
I think Neville's out. Yes, he is.
There's Neville.
Oh, no. I can see why he might be confused. That is, that's soft.
Dorsey bringing it up, minute and a half to go until halftime. Allen, quarterback, and trying to get something running for the Melbourne Tigers. He's the high ball screen of Burston. Pull-up jump shot going wrong.
And that's what I said. When he goes right, he pulls up for the jumper more than when he goes left. And many players are like that. He's a left-hander, but he prefers to go right for his jumper. Shane Hill was the best at it. He was a right-hander that was just brilliant. So dangerous when he goes to the left. And again, another offensive foul. Moving screen down low.
That one's on Sean Redditch. They go very aggressive on those screens. Walker. Loose ball goes to Lish. Lish travels. He slid that pivot foot.
Ever so slightly.
But see what I mean about these guys don't complain. They just go about it. Turnover, turned around. Now they're in lockdown defense again.
It's easy not to complain when you know you're going to the playoffs. And this game means diddly squat.
That's true.
But you're right, Steve. That is their personality and their trait. And again, give credit to the coaching staff, the way they conduct themselves. And there's a reason why they've been in the playoff 26 consecutive years. There's a real culture about the way the Perth Wildcats get it done. And those traits that you're talking about and how you deal with adversity if you think you're being hard done by it. It's an example of how it should be done by the Perth Wildcats.
Well, some of it comes from, and maybe you're starting to see it in New Zealand as well. They've got such a long way to come on every road trip. And they just bond. And those teams are very good on the road as well. I think the travel would really have some type of indicator. Martin is off the mark. Ron Dorsey for another jam.
16 points to Ron Dorsey.
He picks up Lish.
This is a Ron Dorsey the Melbourne Tigers have not seen very often this season.
Martin. Truman up top. The shot clock goes off. Truman had to shoot that one. I'm sorry, the game clock expires and the Perth Wildcats don't get one off. Rob Beveridge not happy with Jeremiah Truman, but they are down by 10 to the Melbourne Tigers. 42-32 here.